In the depths of a forgotten village, nestled between gnarled trees and whispers of mist, stood the ancient Manor of Ravenscroft. Its presence loomed like a dark sentinel, a relic of a bygone era that refused to fade into obscurity. For centuries, it had been abandoned, or so the villagers whispered, shrouded in tales darker than the blackest night. Stories of ghostly apparitions, unexplained disappearances, and a curse that befell anyone who dared to enter its forsaken halls. One stormy evening, a writer named Elias, fascinated by legends and lured by the thrill of a good ghost story, ventured to Ravenscroft. The rain pelted down in relentless sheets and the wind howled like a chorus of lost souls, but Elias was undeterred. His goal was to spend one night there, hoping to capture the essence of fear and mystery for his next book. He believed that immersing himself in the manor's eerie atmosphere would provide the inspiration he needed. As he pushed open the massive oak door, a cold wind rushed past, snuffing out his lantern's flame. The door creaked ominously, as if protesting his intrusion. Undeterred, Elias lit a candle and stepped inside. The manor was suffocating, draped in cobwebs and dust, as if the house itself was trying to preserve its ghostly secrets. The air was thick with the scent of decay and neglect. Elias explored the ground floor, his footsteps echoing in the unsettling silence. Each step seemed to reverberate through the empty halls, amplifying the sense of isolation. He found an old library where books lay scattered, their pages yellowed and torn. It was here that he felt it first, the unmistakable sensation of being watched. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end. Turning quickly, he caught a glimpse of a shadow darting behind a bookshelf. Thinking it might just be a trick of the light, he pressed on, though a sense of unease gnawed at him. Night deepened, and with it came the inexplicable sounds. Whispers in corners, soft thuds upstairs, and a faint melancholy tune of a piano. The manor seemed to come alive with the darkness, its secrets stirring. Elias followed these sounds up a creaking staircase to a hallway lined with portraits, their eyes seeming to follow his every move. The faces in the paintings were stern and sorrowful, as if they too were trapped within the manor's grasp. At the end of the hall, he discovered a room with the door slightly ajar. A faint light flickered from within, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Inside, an ancient piano sat under a dusty chandelier. As his eyes adjusted to the gloom, the keys began to move on their own, playing a slow, eerie melody. The sound was hauntingly beautiful, yet filled with an overwhelming sense of sorrow. Frozen with both terror and fascination, Elias approached the piano. The music stopped abruptly as he reached it, and in the silence that followed, he heard a soft, eerie voice whisper directly into his ear, "Why have you come?" The voice was filled with an ancient sadness. Startled, he spun around to find the room empty. The silence was deafening, and the air felt heavy with unseen presences. His heart pounding, he rushed to the door, only to find it shut tight. As he struggled with the handle, the temperature dropped, and his breath fogged in the air. Panic began to set in. The candle flickered out, plunging him into darkness. The oppressive blackness seemed to close in around him, suffocating and relentless. Desperate, he turned back to the room, and that's when he saw them. Figures clad in Victorian garb, transparent and shimmering, seated around the room, staring at him with hollow eyes. Their expressions were a mix of curiosity and sorrow. The piano resumed playing, now a frantic, discordant melody. Over the chaotic noise, the figures began to wail, mourning losses long past, their cries piercing the night. The sound was almost unbearable, a cacophony of despair. Elias, overcome by fear and an unearthly chill, felt the darkness seep into his bones. It was as if the manor itself was trying to claim him, to make him a part of its tragic history. He realized then that Ravenscroft kept its visitors. It whispered dark secrets not meant for the living to hear. The manor was a trap, a place where the past refused to let go. With a last burst of terror-fueled adrenaline, he broke the door open and fled into the stormy night, the cries of the dead echoing behind him. The rain washed over him, but it couldn't cleanse the fear that had taken root in his heart. Back in the safety of his home, haunted by those endless eyes and sorrowful tunes, Elias wrote his tale. The experience had left an indelible mark on his soul, and he poured every ounce of his fear and fascination into his writing. But even as words filled the pages, he knew no one would read them and believe. For how could they understand the true horror of Ravenscroft without seeing those mournful spectres themselves? The manor's secrets were too profound, too otherworldly to be captured fully in mere words. And so the manor waits, shrouded in its cloak of shadows, ready for the next curious soul brave enough to cross its threshold. Its dark history and restless spirits remain a testament to the enduring power of the unknown.